All right, Mario. So, that game last night, they only won 2-0, and I predicted 2-2, and I changed that when I saw Oliveira was actually starting over Mario Rui, just because I thought Oliveira would be a better player in a game like that with his speed and his size and all that. And he disappointed me at the beginning of the match, though. So I was a little bit worried about my prediction that I predicted 3-1 after I saw him start. But I predicted 2-2 officially. And I'm very happy that I was wrong. And you were much closer to being right. You said 2-1, right?
Yep.
So you're just one goal off. And, man, who would have thought that we would have got a clean sheet, right? I mean, did you think we were going to get a clean sheet? You just gave them a goal because you thought they would just pull one out. Dude,
Oh
our
yeah, I'll
defense,
get into why. Our defense is top tier.
yeah, but there are people talking about our defense in the Champions League as being a worry once we actually come up against a team that has high quality players. Do you think our defense is going to be ready?
Our defense has been ready all season. I mean, we've already shown that we can handle top tier attacks. We've done it all season long. Liverpool being one example, we only allowed one goal and we thrashed them four at home. But the only reason why I'm saying that is because Napoli have only allowed 15 goals at this state of the season in round 23 compared to 31 last season. And we were ranked as one of the top 10 defenses, five defenses in the world last season. We've performed exceptionally well back there. So I don't know why people had a quote unquote goal fest in Frankfurt to happen, like them to score 2-3 on us. Like, no, I respect Frankfurt. They have something nice going over there. Their attack has a lot of flow. It's very fluent. Kolumani is a big problem. Kamala, Mario Götze, they all had good games, but those were only players that really even give us problems. Um, I don't know. We have a 42 goal differential. Why would I be shocked that we have a clean sheet? I'm really not. It's good. I'm not saying it's expected. It's good. It's deserving. But one goal wouldn't have hurt us. But I knew we were going to come out of Frankfurt with a dub, as expected,
So
because
I'm so
we are meeting expectations every single game this season. Every
yeah.
game.
I mean, you're talking a whole lot more about their defense and what they've been doing in the domestic league, right? In Serie A, and not so much in Champions League. You mentioned that they really handled their business against Liverpool at home,
I
but
mean, yeah, no
Liverpool,
one
I
has
think,
scored more than 2 goals on us since November of last year.
how much did
No one.
Liverpool score when we played them in the UK? They scored two. I thought they
Either
scored three.
either
No.
two or three, but that might have been prior to
Yeah.
November. So
Well, and the thing is too is like that game. I mean, they had no meaning for
yeah,
Napoli,
it was
and
meaningless.
you
Yeah,
could Well, and you could tell in that game that they weren't 100% into making sure that they actually left with the result. So
right,
it's not
right.
surprising with quality players like Liverpool has if we're not super motivated to do our absolute 100% best that they were going to score on this. I mean, I have to agree with you. I think we're not getting the respect that we deserve from a defensive aspect. I think all the attention is on Osimhen, it's on Cavada, it's on Chucky Lozano now some. Lobotka gets props all the
Look at
time.
Kim, man. We have to worry about
Yeah.
not losing Kim this summer. We got to do something with that clause. We got to either take it off or up it to like 85, 90 million at least. These Prem heads want this guy.
So we talked a little bit about Oliveira in the Sassuolo segment and the fact that he started and Rui did and everything. And I
Mm-hmm.
think everybody out there expected Mario Rui to start this game. The papers had him starting. Everybody's predicted 11. I can't think of anybody that actually thought Oliveira was still going to get a start. And then when that starting lineup came out, I was like, oh shit, what's going on? And we got some drama going on. And, I was over at Eric's house watching the game and we were talking about that a little bit. And Eric's like, I don't think anything's going on. I think this Spalletti just made a tactical decision
Mm-hmm.
and we should trust that
For
decision. I'm
sure.
like, man, I hope you're right because we don't need no drama. And thinking about it more since last night, I think Eric's right, man. I actually don't think that it was anything more than just a decision that Spalletti made.
Yeah, no, Oliveira always starts in the Champions League. It's not something new. It was just weird that he started the game before. We usually don't see that. But like I said,
Yeah.
probably just getting like a quick little warm up, getting his legs ready against a mid table team.
And just to go back a little bit on how the defense played in this game. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you could say Kim was man of the match in that game.
No,
He
you could say
just
a lot of people were
dominated.
mad at the match. Yeah.
I mean, I think he not proved, but maybe put another stamp on the approval of what people have been saying about him and his impact in playing in that position. It's like that one play where he didn't care how fast Koulibaly was, and he ran up and made that tackle in the box. That took some courage, man. Koulibaly, that dude's fast. That dude is lightning fast,
Yeah.
and for
He was
him to
causing
be able
problems.
to and well, and for Kim to be able to know that he was able to make that play.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of people out there that are talking about Napoli's chances in the Champions League. And one of the things that they are talking about that's a detractor, maybe a weakness, is their quality on defense and whether their defense is going to be able to handle the high quality players that they end up meeting as they go along in the Champions League. Are you 100% confident that our back line is ready for anybody in the Champions League, including the likes of Holland, Mbappe, if PSG actually get through, Benzema with Real Madrid? I mean, do you think we're ready for all these players?
Yes. I mean, just from the season alone, you've seen what we've been able to do. Our defense is stout. Like I mentioned earlier, 15 goals allowed in Serie A alone. And we're not just the general quote unquote Italian team either. You know, we don't play like the general Italian side. But our defense is displaying that because, you know, Italians are usually a very defensive minded tactical team. We've been able to do everything. Like our form and every position. Like you could argue that right wing is our weakest position, but look at Lozano how he just performed.
Hmm.
I mean, look, whenever we have players doing that, we're going to cause big issues. And I know, sorry, I was getting into the attack, but our defense, I'm not really worried about it. Look at our clean sheets. Like I said, no one scored more than 2 goals on us since November. Inter was the last team to score on us, I believe. No, sorry, Roma. But even before then, we had a clean sheet right there. The game prior to that, you could argue we almost had 5 or 6 in a row. It's only been 1 goal. Our defense is there against even top attacks like Inter and Roma. I'm not worried.
I mean, I guess I do understand a little bit when you talk about just quality. You know what I mean? I get that a little bit with like maybe with Rachmani, even with Rui and Oliveira. Like the quality maybe isn't all the way up there at a world class level like some of these attackers are going to play against. But for me, their back line and the way that they play together, their organization, their communication, they know where each other are. And then you've got the midfield that supports them throughout the entire 90 minutes. Lobo is everywhere. Lobo's
Yeah.
everywhere. Like, so for me, it's not about so much the quality individually that makes them as good as they are. It's the overall it's the overall organization and how they all play together and their cohesion to do everything right all the time. Like even
Yep.
when they make a mistake, 4 or 5 of them, they're all like sprinting to the other end to make sure they get the ball one right back. So I don't know, man. I understand why people would talk like that, and I actually understand why Serie A teams in general, players in the Serie A, why they don't get so much respect because until this year, Serie A hasn't been nothing in Champions League, man. They haven't. I mean, when's the last time we had 3 Serie A teams in Champions League this far in? Yeah, and then the other thing too is Juve, how many freaking Scudetti did they win in a row? 9. And through
Yeah.
that entire era, they couldn't win a Champions League. So the reputation that Serie A has in Europe, I get it. I really do. But this Napoli is not the Serie A of then, and they are ruling Serie A and ruling the Champions League. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that next round because there's no way we're not getting to the next round, right? There's people that are saying, well, it's not guaranteed. Oh, it's
It's
close
not
enough to being
guaranteed.
guaranteed.
It's never
It's close
guaranteed.
enough.
It's
It's never
right, but you
guaranteed, but
can't
it's
think
close
that way
enough.
though. You can't think that way
No,
though.
you can't.
That's not
You
healthy.
can't. I mean, and I know the players won't think that way, but as a
No, they
fan,
won't, because
I
Spalletti said
know.
that he would sit him out if
Yeah,
they did.
but they're getting to the next round. And for
Yeah.
me, the next team that they play, to some degree, I want them to play one of the powerhouses because I want them to be able to shut everybody up and beat that team to get to the semifinal. You know what I mean? I really, yeah, it would be significant. I really
I
want to
really
see
I
that,
really
man.
believe no one wants to like face us, especially not Real
Oh,
Madrid, just because,
oh,
like
no
I
doubt,
mentioned, they
no
don't like
doubt.
teams that go up and down the field. Liverpool,
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt,
even though
man.
they crushed them 5-2, but we know how inconsistent Liverpool can be. So
So I think we touched a little bit on how Chucky played in this game, or just in general. But man, how was
crazy.
Chucky in that match, man?
I mean, since we're talking about Chucky, let's get into man of the match, because for me, he was my man of the match for real. The
I,
UCL gave him man of the match. I mean, how can I disagree with the big dogs, right? You could even give it to Lobotka. You could give it to Kim. You give it to a lot of players. Even Anguissa had quite a performance. I mean, he could have scored a goal
yeah,
himself. Like what?
yeah.
I mean, yeah, but Lozano, he was up and down the field like always in recent times. He's been tracking back and forth. Amazing crosses. He was clinical. Chucky Lozano, baby, Viva Mexico.
When you say it was clinical. Now,
Hmm.
I think that goal, that shot that he had on goal, I think he shot it exactly like he should have, where it was the easiest way to actually score, but he was just barely off, man, just barely off, and I don't think you can fault him for that. I mean, I would have been upset if he would have shot it in the air like he's done several times recently instead of shooting it low to the ground. Because
Hmm.
it's more often than not, it's easier for a goalie to actually make a save that's somewhere near him if it's chest up. It's harder to get
Right.
way down low to the ground in enough time to make the save. And you saw he didn't do that. It just
Right.
hit the pole and just it was just that far off. And then oh man, if he would have scored, and then
Whew.
when he got that cross into Victor and Victor scored that goal, man, I loved seeing him go up to the visitor section and cheering with the fans, man. Because if there's anything that might be missing still from our team and the love for every player, I think the fans still have some room to to support Chucky Lozano the way that I think that he's proving that he deserves to be supported.
Yep. And the way that Victor
So
also
yeah,
kissed his shirt, we haven't seen him do that before. That was crazy.
yeah, man. I mean, and you know what? The other thing, did you see how Victor, after Cavada missed that penalty kick? We didn't even talk about the
Yep.
penalty kick. We can touch on that a little bit, but
Yep.
Victor, right after that, came up to him and just pushed his chin up to support him and motivate him to,
Yep.
not
Yep.
have his head down. Dude, that stuff like that is
Leadership
special.
qualities. Hmm.
It is special, man. The relationship that all these players have together is something that we need to cherish, and I don't think we're ever gonna forget it, man.
No,
What did you think about that missed penalty kick from Cavada? Are you
it
surprised?
happens. No, honestly, I mean, it's the Champions League, man. I mean, it happens. Cavada it wasn't a bad shot. It wasn't a great shot. It was good enough. Trapp just made an excellent save. He made a lot of
That's
excellent
a good
saves this whole
goalie.
game.
So, just talking about this, right? Steel City Napoli Club. If you're out there listening, man, to the show when we post it, how you doing? Thanks for supporting the channel. I want to talk about their tweet real quick. So they put out a tweet today that says, after Cavada's missed penalty, who do you think should be the next penalty taker?
Cavada.
So the players to pick that he put in his poll is Cavada, Osimhen, Zelensky, and then anybody else. Tell me what you think the votes have percentage-wise and who that guy is. Who do you think that the fans are voting to say should
Osimhen.
still be the penalty? No, man.
Oh, is
No,
it
man.
okay? If it's Napoli fans, I think it's K Town. If it's like fans
Bro,
from
listen.
everywhere, I'm thinking they'll pick Osimhen just because of his goal situation. How he wants to keep going for Capo Caneta.
It is Cavada with
Yeah,
88.9% of the vote, man.
it was a
Can you
good
believe
block.
that?
It wasn't a bad shot. Like at least whenever Politano
Yeah.
was missing, it was a bad shot. You can't fault Cavada for that shot.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, maybe he could have put just a tiny bit more power on it. Maybe he could have went
Sure.
towards the top corner. Maybe he could have went to the other side. But for me, the most important thing about when you take a penalty kick is to pick a
How you react
spot
afterward.
and
Oh,
and do it. Well, yeah,
yeah.
that's always important.
Yeah.
But when you're kicking it, is to take that spot and just go for it and not to do any of the stupid hesitation
Yeah.
shit or anything
No
like that.
second guessing either. None of that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to see. I don't know if Cavades went the opposite way yet. I know Victor did in one of his penalty kicks, which was really nice. I don't know if Cavades like went the opposite way. Maybe he should try that next time or get close to trying it just so the goalie, has a little bit of a guessing game going on. Is he going to go that way? Is he going to go this way? But yeah, man, you're right. You can't fault him for that. It wasn't a weak shot. It wasn't too close to the goalie. It was still towards the left side of the net there. So I wasn't upset at all. I really wasn't. And the fact that the fans, it looks like they're still behind him being our guy,
Oh
makes
yeah.
me very happy. And Victor supporting him like he did. That those are all things that championship teams do. You know what I mean? So that was
Yep.
nice to see too. Uh, so yeah, men of the match, we both got Chucky, right?
Yep.
I mean, I don't think that there's any question there. I read the Gazette the next morning like I always do, and I expected him to get a high score, and he did. He got 8 points. It is
Wow.
very rare for the Gazette to give anybody eight, and him and Victor Osimhen both got 8 points in the
Wow.
Gazette the next morning. So I was very happy to see that.
That's good.
All right. Well, you got anything else to say about that match? Do you think that what do you think it's going to be like when they come to play in the Maradona in 2 weeks?
Oh,
Is
it's
it
gonna be like
two,
hell.
two?
And
I
they're
think
gonna have
it's
one of
no,
the
it's, I
most
think it's three
uncomfortable times
weeks.
of their life. They aren't gonna be
We're gonna blow
ready.
them out. We're gonna blow
It
them out
might
anyway.
be. It might be 4-1.
Yeah, I think we're
Just
gonna blow
depending
them
on
out
our
too.
situation though, because who knows? Spalletti might even take out Osimhen early, like at the half, and put in Simeone. Like if we're up like 2-0 at the half, I can see him taking players out because we'll be on aggregate up 4-0. What do we have to worry about?
You
4 goals in the next
mentioning
half?
that,
Mhm.
mentioning that, you're just making me think of it. Why didn't Ozyman come out earlier, Mario? I felt like he needed to come out earlier in this match. Did you feel the same way?
Like I said, I'm really done doubting Spalletti, even like with this substitute situation. Sometimes it is questionable. We can agree on that. But I don't know. He just saw something we didn't.
Do you think there's a chance that Osimhen or any of the other players that aren't regulars will actually start in the game coming
At
up on
home,
Saturday
especially.
versus Empoli?
Yeah, I mean, Simeone and Raspadori are they have the most goals for our team in the UCL at 4 each. It's not Osimhen, it's not Cavada, it's not anybody else, it's them. So I could definitely see them getting some freaking playing time for real.
Well, no, what I was saying is this next game coming up on Saturday versus Empoli.
Oh, versus
So
Empoli.
they actually have a schedule now starting on Saturday where they have just one game a week until they play another Champions League game. So they've got 3 straight weeks with one game a week. Do you think due to that Spalletti is going to be like, you know what? I'm just going to continue rolling with what I've done, and I'm not going to make any big changes? Or do you think maybe this Empoli match is his opportunity to maybe get some players like Victor, like Di Lorenzo, like Lobotka? Do you think it's finally going to be a match where those players get some real rest?
Man, we've been talking about this for the past
Mm,
2, 3 episodes.
mm.
I'm thinking it's all gas, no brakes. Why stop now? For real. I mean, I
Yeah, you
understand we
know
just
what?
had like 2 games close to each other,
Yeah.
like 4 days apart, 3 days apart, but why stop now? And then Kim on his 4th yellow still. I don't see them doing anything strategically with that. I just think he's just playing his game. By the
Really?
way, that was a bullshit yellow that he got against Frankfurt as well. Real big bullshit.
What did you think about the red card that Koulibaly got? Do you think
I
that
mean,
was a deserved red card?
deserved according to the rule book, yeah, but
Mm,
morally, his ankle didn't seem too bad, but he did catch it pretty good. But was it intentional? No. It was perfect timing from the defender. Sorry,
yeah.
Anguissa's not a defender, but it was perfect timing from Zambo on that slide. As a player, as a human, we don't have the reaction time to really stop ourselves from
Yeah.
doing something like that. It just
Yeah.
happens. You got to feel for him. He got a red, and we already had the flow and the tempo going in our hands. But whenever that happened, you could really feel like, oh, this game is about to really get crazy now. And we scored one of the best goals team wise. The Champions League has seen this season. That Cavada assist was top 3 assists this season alone. Crazy shit.
Yeah.
Di Lorenzo, that's like the second or third time that Di Lorenzo has scored a shot like that from that area of the box. They have that play going together. Yeah, so I like the little chemistry they have going together too. Even Chucky and Di Lorenzo have always had amazing chemistry. Man, chemistry. This team is really built off that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I know it, man. And like you were mentioning a little bit, I feel bad for Colomani. I mean, this was his opportunity to really show out in the Champions League, and now he's not going to play in the return leg because he got a red card in this game. And
Yeah.
that dude showed some flashes of brilliance, man. That dude is
Did you see the
super
over
athletic,
the head
super
dribble?
fast.
The over the head
Yeah,
dribble he had against Kim, I believe it was in the box.
yeah,
Crazy. Yeah.
yeah,
He has a
yeah.
lot of
He's a
talent.
good player, man.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for Frankfurt to keep that dude, man.
Yeah, and Kamada. Shoot,
Oh
we
yeah.
should go for
Oh,
him.
he should have scored, man. Dude,
Yeah,
we got lucky he didn't score when he had that shot in front of the goal, man. We got
I know.
lucky
Later in
there.
the
And
game.
if they would have
Yeah.
scored that goal, there's no telling what would have happened because it would have been 2-1 at that point, right?
I think we were still a bit comfortable just because of how we were handling the game in general. And off of something like that, mentally we're always prepared. So I don't think it would have changed the game. It would have changed the aggregate, but not like the game.
Well,
I
you
think
don't you don't
we would have
think that it
held
would have
out.
gave them a you don't think it would have gave them a little bit more push to try to get a draw?
Yeah, sure. Like the pressure would have been heavier, obviously, but no, down 10 men still at that point. I think we would have played more
Man,
conservatively as well, more defensive, pushed back a little bit more. So
man,
no,
thinking about that a little bit, right? Maybe that would have been a good thing for them to actually play the last few minutes of an important game in the Champions League and hold them and not let them score a goal so that they're more prepared for it. Like later down the road when they're playing a higher quality opposition. I don't know, man. I mean, I'm not complaining, obviously, but I think that that might have been a good learning experience for them to deal with that if that dude would have scored.
yeah, I can see that
All
point.
right. Well, you got anything else to say about that game, Mario?
No, I'm predicting next game whenever we play Frankfurt, it'll probably be a 4-1 thrashing, 3-1 thrashing, some of that nature. I see Frankfurt at least getting one goal against us. Man, if they really come out here getting no goals with the attack that they have, I mean, I understand Colomani won't be at the next game, but regardless, they got to get one, right? I don't know.
Man, you're making a prediction 3 weeks out, man. I'm waiting to make my prediction,
Oh yeah, I
man.
mean, we'll see if my mind changes, if there's any
Yeah,
injuries. Knock on wood. Don't want any of that. But
for sure, for sure, for sure. All right, well, let's transition into the next segment. We'll get into talking about just the current form and what the standings are looking at for Napoli to clinch that Scudetto.